The vast darkness of space stretched out before the USS Peacekeeper as it cut through the void. Captain Olivia Warren stood tall on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the view screen that showed their destination, the Centauri system, where an alien blockade awaited them. "Status report," she said, her voice calm despite the tension that hung in the air. Lieutenant Commander Daniel Rodriguez looked up from his console. "We're 6 hours from the blockade point, Captain. Long-range scans confirm 17 Acrylian vessels in formation around Alpha Centauri B." Olivia nodded. The irony of their mission wasn't lost on her. The Peacekeeper was Earth's most powerful warship, armed with enough firepower to reduce a small moon to rubble. Yet here they were, sent on a diplomatic mission to prevent a war. "Any response to our hails?" she asked. Communications Officer Samantha Miller shook her head. "Nothing yet, Captain. I've been broadcasting on all the frequencies they used in their ultimatum." 3 days ago, the Acrylian Dominion had sent a message to Earth that shocked the United Earth government. The aliens had set up a blockade around the human colonies in the Centauri system and demanded Earth give up 3 resource-rich planets or face total destruction. The government couldn't risk another war so soon after the Proxima conflict that had ended just 5 years earlier. Too many lives had been lost already. So they sent the Peacekeeper, a warship for peace talks. Olivia walked to the large window on the side of the bridge. She could see the stars streaking by as the ship moved at high speed through space. The Acrylians aren't fools. They'll know exactly what kind of ship we're bringing to this meeting. "Maybe that's the point," said Chief Science Officer Alan Patterson as he joined her by the window. "Send your biggest ship to show strength, but call it diplomacy to show restraint." Olivia smiled slightly. "I'm not sure if that's brilliant strategy or terrible diplomacy." "Maybe it's both," Alan replied. The ship's second-in-command, Commander George Baker, approached with a datapad. "Captain, I finished reviewing the Acrylian fleet movements from the past 6 months. Something doesn't add up." Olivia took the pad and studied the information. The Acrylians had been moving ships to the Centauri region for months, but not in a pattern that suggested invasion. "They're setting up a defensive line," she said, surprised. "That's what I thought too," George said. "But defending against what? We haven't moved any significant forces in that direction." "And why demand our planets if they're concerned about defense?" Olivia wondered aloud. The question hung in the air, unanswered. Hours later, the Peacekeeper slowed as it approached the edge of the Centauri system. The main view screen showed the Acrylian ships arranged in a precise formation. Their vessels were unlike human ships, part mechanical, part biological, with curves and lines that suggested they had grown rather than been built. "They're hailing us," Samantha announced. Olivia straightened her uniform. On screen, the face that appeared made several crew members shift uncomfortably. The Acrylians resembled insects, with hard exoskeletons and compound eyes that reflected light in unusual ways. This one's shell was marked with intricate patterns that humans had learned indicated high rank. "I am High Commander Zexkra of the Acrylian Dominion," the alien said, its words translated by the ship's computer. "You send a vessel of war to answer our demands. This is not what we requested." Olivia met the alien's gaze steadily. "I am Captain Olivia Warren of the United Earth Government. The Peacekeeper is my ship and my transportation to these talks. I am fully authorized to negotiate on behalf of Earth." The alien's mandibles clicked rapidly. A sign of agitation, Olivia recalled from her briefings. "Your ship carries weapons that could destroy half our fleet." "And your fleet carries weapons that could destroy our colonies," Olivia countered, calmly. "Yet here we are, talking instead of fighting. That seems like diplomacy to me." The alien was silent for a moment. "You speak directly, Captain Warren." "I find it saves time," she replied. "Very well, we will meet. Prepare a shuttle and come to my command vessel. Bring no more than 2 others with you." The screen went dark before Olivia could respond. Daniel looked concerned. "Captain, that's too dangerous. They could take you prisoner or worse. If they wanted to attack, they would have fired on us already," Olivia said. "Besides, sometimes, diplomacy requires risk." She turned to the crew. Lieutenant Kyle Bennett, you'll head my security detail. Dr. Nicole Harris, I want you with us for your expertise in Acrylian biology and culture. Both officers nodded, though Kyle looked unhappy about the arrangement. As they prepared to leave, Alan approached Olivia in the shuttle bay. Captain, our scans picked up something strange. The Acrylians have positioned their ships to cover a specific sector of space, away from our colonies. They seem more interested in that empty region than in our planets. Olivia considered this information. Keep scanning that area. If there's something there, I want to know what it is. Be careful, Alan said quietly. Always am, she replied with a small smile. The shuttle departed from the Peacekeeper, small against the vastness of space and the large alien ships that waited. Inside, Olivia checked her sidearm, standard procedure, though she hoped not to need it. What do you think they really want? Kyle asked as he piloted the shuttle toward the Acrylian command ship. Nicole adjusted her translator. In my studies of their communications, I've noticed they often speak in layers of meaning. The ultimatum might not be their real purpose. Well, we're about to find out, Olivia said as the shuttle approached the alien vessel. The Acrylian ship opened what appeared to be an organic doorway, reminding Olivia of a mouth rather than a mechanical bay. The shuttle passed through, entering a chamber that sealed behind them. Remember, Olivia told her team as they prepared to exit the shuttle, we're here to understand and to be understood. Keep your eyes open, but let's show them that humans know how to talk before we fight. The shuttle door opened to reveal a group of waiting Acrylians, their compound eyes gleaming in the strange light of their ship. High Commander Zexkra stepped forward. Welcome aboard, Captain Warren. Now we will discuss the true reason Earth has been brought into this matter. Olivia felt a chill run down her spine. Whatever was happening here was bigger than a dispute, over planets, much bigger. And she had brought Earth's most powerful warship right into the middle of it. Olivia and her small team followed High Commander Zexkra through the strange corridors of the Acrylian ship. The walls seemed alive, pulsing with a soft blue light that shifted as they walked. The air was thick with a sweet smell that reminded Olivia of honey mixed with copper. Kyle kept his hand near his weapon, his eyes constantly scanning for threats. Dr. Nicole Harris walked beside Olivia, her gaze filled with scientific curiosity as she observed the alien environment. Your vessel is quite different from ours, Olivia said, breaking the silence. Zexkra's mandibles clicked softly. We grow our ships as much as build them. Living metal and machine joined as one. Your ships are dead by comparison. They entered a large chamber that seemed to serve as a command center. Other Acrylians worked at stations that were partially merged with the floor and walls. In the center was a large holographic display showing star systems and what appeared to be energy readings. You said we would discuss the true reason for your blockade, Olivia reminded the alien commander. I'm listening. Zexkra gestured to the display. What do you know of deep space beyond your colonies, Captain? We've mapped several sectors, but there's much we haven't explored yet, Olivia admitted. The alien touched the display, causing it to zoom out and reveal a massive energy signature moving through space. It looked like a dark cloud shot through with flashes of purple light. This is why we are here, Zexkra said. We call them the Void Harvesters. They consume all life in their path. They have already destroyed 3 of our outer worlds. Nicole stepped closer to the display, her scientific curiosity obvious. This energy pattern, I've never seen anything like it. Few have seen it and lived, Zexkra replied. They come every 12,000 years. Our ancestors recorded their last passage. We have prepared for generations. Olivia studied the display carefully. The energy mass was moving directly toward the Centauri system, toward Earth's colonies. And, you didn't think to warn us, she asked, her voice hardening. Would you have believed us? Zexkra countered. After the border disputes of the past decade, after your government accused us of trying to steal your territories? Olivia couldn't argue with that logic. Relations between humans and Acrylians had been tense for years. So the ultimatum about our planet, she began, was to force your people to leave, Zexkra finished. We calculated that fear of us was better than the truth. Your species would panic and waste precious time arguing. The harvesters care nothing for your politics. They will consume everything, Kyle frowned. Why would you care if our colonies were destroyed? Because the harvesters grow stronger with each world they consume, Nicole said suddenly, understanding dawning on her face as she studied the readings. If they take our colonies, they'll be even stronger when they reach Acrylian space. Zexkra's compound eyes gleamed. Your scientist understands this is not charity, Captain, this is survival. For all of us. Olivia tapped her communication device. Warren to Peacekeeper. This is Commander Baker, came the reply. George, I need Science Officer Patterson to verify something. Have him scan for a large energy mass approaching the system from deep space. Sending coordinates now. She transmitted the information from the Acrylian display. There was a tense silence as they waited. Finally, Alan's voice came through. Captain, confirmed. There's something massive moving toward us. The energy readings are off the charts and unlike anything in our database. Olivia looked at Zexkra. How long until it reaches the colonies? 3 days, the alien replied. 4 at most. And your plan was to scare us away with threats? Olivia asked incredulously. We have been fighting the harvesters for months, Zexkra said. Our weapons can hurt them, but not destroy them completely. We did not believe your weapons would be any more effective. Olivia thought quickly. You've never seen our weapons in action. The Peacekeeper carries experimental technology that might be effective against energy-based entities. For the first time, she saw something like hope in the alien commander's posture. You would help us fight? We would help defend our colonies, Olivia corrected. But yes, that means fighting alongside you if necessary. She turned to her team. Dr. Harris, stay here and learn everything you can about these harvesters. Lieutenant Bennett, return to the Peacekeeper with me. We need to prepare. As they walked back to the shuttle, Kyle spoke in a low voice. Captain, do you really think we can fight something that destroys entire planets? I don't know, Olivia admitted. But I know running isn't an option, and I know we're stronger together than divided. The shuttle ride back to the Peacekeeper was quiet, both humans lost in thought about the threat that approached. As they docked, Commander Baker was waiting for them. Captain, we've confirmed the aliens' information, he said as they walked briskly toward the bridge. The energy mass will reach the outer colony in about 72 hours. Alert all colonies to begin evacuation procedures, Olivia ordered. Priority for children and essential personnel. On the bridge, Science Officer Patterson showed her more detailed scans of the approaching threat. It's not a single entity, he explained. It's more like a swarm. Thousands of smaller energy beings moving as one. Like a school of fish, Olivia murmured. Exactly, Alan agreed. And they seem to be drawn to energy sources, planets with life, power stations, that sort of thing. Olivia studied the tactical display. If they're attracted to energy, maybe we can use that against them. Create a lure of some kind. The quantum resonance drive, Engineer Joseph Franklin suggested from his station. If we modified it to emit on a frequency similar to what they're drawn to, but with a cascading overload, we could create a trap, Olivia finished. Good thinking, Joseph. Start working on it immediately. She turned to communications. Samantha, open a channel to the Acrylian command ship. When Zexkra's face appeared on screen, Olivia spoke with new determination. Hi, Commander. It seems we have a common enemy. I'm proposing an alliance. Your knowledge of these creatures, combined with our technology, might give us a fighting chance. The alien commander studied her for a long moment. You are suggesting that a warship sent for diplomacy should now be used for its intended purpose. I'm suggesting that sometimes the best diplomacy is showing what we're willing to fight for, and who we're willing to fight alongside, Olivia replied. After a pause, Zexkra's mandibles clicked in what Olivia now recognized as agreement. Your proposal is accepted, Captain Warren. We will coordinate our defenses with yours. As the screen went dark, Olivia turned to her crew. We have 72 hours to prepare for battle against an enemy that has destroyed entire worlds. I, No, the odds seem impossible, but that's what humans do best, the impossible. She looked around at the determined faces of her crew. Let's get to work. The next 48 hours aboard the USS Peacekeeper were a blur of activity. Captain Olivia Warren had divided her crew into teams, each working on different aspects of their defense plan. The bridge had become a command center for both human and Acrylian forces, with officers from both species working side by side. Dr. Nicole Harris had returned from the Acrylian ship with valuable data about the Void Harvesters. She stood before a group of officers explaining what they now knew. The Harvesters are energy-based life forms, she said, pointing to the display showing the strange purple-black entities. They feed on organic and electrical energy. When they consume a planet, they leave nothing but a dead rock. Engineer Joseph Franklin raised his hand. How do the Acrylians fight them? They use weapons that disrupt the Harvester's energy field, Nicole explained. It doesn't destroy them, but it can scatter them temporarily. Olivia studied the tactical display, which now showed both human and Acrylian ships positioned around the colonies. We need more than temporary solutions. The quantum trap is our best shot. Joseph nodded. We've modified a long-range shuttle with the quantum resonance drive. In theory, it will attract the Harvesters with an energy signature they can't resist, then overload and create a cascade reaction. In theory, Commander George Baker said skeptically. It's the best plan we have, Olivia replied. The Acrylians have agreed to provide cover fire while we position the shuttle. Lieutenant Kyle Bennett, who had been quiet during the meeting, finally spoke up. The shuttle will need to be piloted manually. The radiation from the modified drive will fry any remote systems. A heavy silence fell over the room. Everyone understood what he was saying. It would be a one-way trip for whoever piloted the shuttle. I'll do it, Kyle said firmly. I have the highest pilot ratings on the ship. Olivia shook her head. We're not making that decision yet. Let's focus on finishing the modifications first. As the meeting broke up, Olivia received word that Commander Zexicra was requesting to come aboard the Peacekeeper. She met the alien leader in the ship's conference room along with Science Officer Alan Patterson. Your ship is impressive, Zexicra said, compound eyes taking in the human technology. Very different from ours, but effective in its own way. Thank you, Olivia replied. Your insights about the Harvesters have been invaluable to our preparations. The alien commander placed a strange device on the table. It looked like a sphere made of the same living metal as their ships. This is a communication node. It will allow our ships to coordinate more effectively during battle. Alan examined the device with interest. This will help tremendously. Our systems aren't designed to interface with Acrylian technology. There is something else, Zexcra added. We have been analyzing your quantum trap plan. It has merit, but the pilot would not need to sacrifice themselves. Olivia leaned forward. Explain. Our ships contain escape pods made of living metal, the alien said. They can shield against the radiation from your device. If we install one in your shuttle, the pilot could survive. For the first time in days, Olivia felt a surge of hope. How quickly can we make this happen? My engineers are ready to begin work immediately, Zexicra replied. As the Acrylian commander left to oversee the modifications, Alan stayed behind with Olivia. It's remarkable, he said quietly. A week ago, we thought the Acrylians were our enemies. Now they're saving our people. Sometimes it takes a bigger threat to put things in perspective, Olivia replied. The next day, with only 24 hours remaining before the Harvesters reached the colonies, Olivia toured the modified shuttle. The integration of human and Acrylian technology was unlike anything she had ever seen. Joseph walked her through the changes. The quantum drive is here, he explained, pointing to the rear of the shuttle. We've amplified it to emit an energy signature that should be irresistible to the Harvesters. He then showed her the alien addition. This is the Acrylian escape pod. It's partially biological and forms a protective cocoon around the pilot when activated. It should shield against the radiation when the drive overloads. Kyle Bennett was already in the pilot's seat, running simulations. It handles differently, with the Acrylian tech, he reported. But I'm adjusting to it. You're still determined to fly this mission? Olivia asked him. Kyle nodded. Yes, Captain. I've studied the harvester's movement patterns. This will take precise timing and maneuvering. Olivia placed a hand on his shoulder. Just make sure you use that escape pod. Back on the bridge, reports came in from the colonies. Despite their best efforts, not everyone could be evacuated in time. Thousands of colonists would still be in the path of the harvesters when they arrived. The outer colony has completed 70% evacuation, Samantha Miller reported. The inner colonies are at 40%. Keep the transports running until the last possible moment, Olivia ordered. A signal from the long-range sensors interrupted them. Captain, Alan called out urgently, the harvesters have accelerated. They'll reach the outer colony in 12 hours, not 24. Olivia's mind raced. Move up the timetable. All ships to defensive positions. Alert the Acrylian fleet. The next few hours were a flurry of activity as ships moved into position. The modified shuttle was prepared for launch, with Kyle running final checks on the systems. On the bridge, Olivia received a transmission from Earth. It was Admiral William Hayes, her superior officer. Captain Warren, we've been briefed on the situation, he said, his face grave on the screen. The Security Council has authorized you to take whatever measures necessary to protect the colonies. We're doing everything we can, Admiral, Olivia replied. The Acrylians, Hayes said hesitantly. Can they be trusted? Olivia glanced at Zexkra, who had joined her on the bridge and could hear the conversation. Yes, Admiral. Without their help, we wouldn't stand a chance. After the transmission ended, Zexkra approached Olivia. Your leaders are cautious. This is wise. They're worried, Olivia corrected. This is the first time humanity has faced something like this. It will not be the last, the alien commander said ominously. The universe contains many dangers. A sudden alert from the sensors cut their conversation short. On the main view screen, the first signs of the void harvesters appeared. Wispy tendrils of dark energy reaching into the system like grasping fingers. All ships, battle stations, Olivia ordered, her voice steady despite the fear she felt. Lieutenant Bennett, prepare for launch. As Kyle left for the shuttle bay, he paused briefly. Captain, it's been an honor serving with you. This isn't goodbye, Lieutenant, Olivia said firmly. Complete your mission and come back, that's an order. The crew of the Peacekeeper watched as the small shuttle launched, carrying their friend and their hopes toward the approaching darkness. Human and Acrylian ships formed a protective line behind it, weapons ready. The greatest battle in human history was about to begin. The void harvesters entered the system like a storm front. A vast dark cloud shot through with purple lightning. From the bridge of the USS Peacekeeper, Captain Olivia Warren watched as the enemy approached. The view screen showed Lieutenant Kyle, Bennett's shuttle moving toward the harvesters, looking tiny against the massive threat. All ships hold position, Olivia ordered. Do not fire until the shuttle has drawn them in. The combined fleet of human and Acrylian vessels waited in formation. It was an impressive sight. The sleek metal ships of Earth alongside the more organic vessels of the Acrylians. For the first time in history, the two species fought as one. Shuttle status? Olivia asked. Lieutenant Bennett is on course. Communications Officer Samantha Miller replied. The quantum drive is emitting at full power. On a separate channel, they could hear Kyle's voice. This is Bennett. I'm seeing movement from the harvesters. They've noticed me. Science Officer Alan Patterson monitored the readings. The energy pattern is changing. They're being drawn to the shuttle. On the view screen, tendrils of dark energy reached out from the main mass, stretching toward the small shuttle. Steady, Lieutenant, Olivia said. Draw them away from the colony. Yes, Captain, Kyle replied, his voice tense but controlled. Adjusting course now. The shuttle banked sharply, pulling the tendrils of energy with it. Like a skilled fisherman, Kyle was reeling in the catch. It's working, Engineer Joseph Franklin said excitedly. The quantum signature is irresistible to them. High Commander Zexkra, who stood beside Olivia on the bridge, clicked his mandibles. Your plan shows promise, Captain, but the main body still approaches the colony. We need to thin their numbers first, Olivia replied. Lieutenant Bennett will draw as many as possible away. Then we'll attack with everything we have. The minutes ticked by as Kyle maneuvered the shuttle, drawing more and more of the harvesters away from the main group. The dark tendrils followed, him like hungry predators chasing prey. Bennett to Peacekeeper, Kyle's voice came through. I've pulled about a third of them away. This is as good as it's going to get. Olivia nodded. Understood. All ships, prepare to fire on the main body. Lieutenant, get ready to activate the quantum overload. The combined fleet moved forward, weapons charged. The Acrylian ships fired first, releasing pulses of energy that scattered the harvesters temporarily. The human ships followed, their more conventional weapons creating explosions within the dark mass. Our weapons are having an effect, Commander, George Baker reported. But they're regrouping quickly. Keep firing, Olivia ordered. We need to buy Bennett more time. The battle intensified as the harvesters fought back. Dark energy beams shot out from the mass, striking several ships. An Acrylian vessel exploded in a flash of blue fire. 2 human ships have taken damage, Samantha reported grimly. The colony defense grid is online, but it won't hold for long. Kyle's voice came through again. I'm in position. The quantum drive is reaching critical levels. Starting the overload sequence now. On the view screen, they could see the shuttle glowing with intense energy as the quantum drive began to destabilize. The harvesters swarmed around it, drawn by the power. Get to the escape pod, Lieutenant, Olivia commanded. Slight problem with that, Captain, Kyle replied, his voice strained. The pod release is jammed. The energy buildup is affecting the mechanical systems. Olivia felt her heart sink. Can you fix it? Working on it, Kyle said. But the drive is going to overload in about 3 minutes, with or without me. Engineer Joseph frantically worked at his console. Lieutenant, try rerouting through the secondary systems. Bypass the main release mechanism. While Kyle fought with the damaged systems, the battle raged on. The main body of harvesters had reached the outer colony and began attacking the defense grid. Beams of dark energy sliced through space, targeting power stations and populated areas. Colony reports multiple breaches in the defense grid, Samantha called out. They're losing power in sectors 3 through 7. Olivia turned to Zex Kra. Can your ships get closer to the colony? We need to pull those harvesters back. The Acrylian commander nodded. It will be done. He spoke into a communication device, and 3 Acrylian ships broke formation, moving to protect the colony. 1 minute to overload, Kyle reported. His voice was eerily calm now. Olivia gripped the edge of her command chair. Status on the escape pod? Still working on it, Kyle replied. But you should know. It's been an honor, Captain. Whatever happens. Don't talk like that, Olivia said sharply. You're coming back. The quantum drive's glow had become almost blinding now, the shuttle a small sun surrounded by the dark mass of harvesters. The entities seemed to be feeding on the energy, unaware of the trap. 30 seconds, Kyle said. Joseph looked up from his console, his face pale. I have an idea. Lieutenant, the Acrylian pod responds to biological signals. Try interfacing directly with the pod's membrane. What does that mean? Kyle asked urgently. Place your hand against the inner wall of the pod, Joseph explained. The living metal should respond to your bioelectrical field. The seconds ticked down as Kyle tried this last desperate measure. On the bridge, no one spoke. They could only watch and wait. 10 seconds to overload, Kyle reported. Olivia held her breath. 5 seconds. Wait, something's happening. The pod is... The transmission cut off as a blinding flash erupted from the shuttle. The quantum drive overloaded, creating a massive energy reaction that rippled through the swarm of harvesters. The dark entities convulsed, energy discharging. In all directions, what's happening? Olivia demanded, temporarily blinded by the flash. Alan checked his readings. The quantum reaction is disrupting their energy field. They're breaking apart. As vision returned to the view screen, they saw the harvesters that had surrounded the shuttle disintegrating into wisps of energy that quickly faded. The eye effect rippled outward, weakening the main body as well. The main group is retreating, George reported with amazement. They're pulling back from the colony. A cheer went up from the crew, but Olivia remained focused on one thing. Any sign of Lieutenant Bennett? Scan for the escape pod. Samantha shook her head. No signals, Captain. The explosion is interfering with our sensors. Keep scanning, Olivia ordered, and get me a damage report from the colony. As the fleet regrouped and the harvesters continued to retreat, Olivia stared at the empty space where the shuttle had been. They had won, but at what cost? Captain, Samantha suddenly called out. I'm picking up a weak signal. It's from an Acrylian escape pod. Olivia's head snapped up. On screen, the view screen showed a small, oval-shaped object drifting in space. It pulsed with a faint blue light. Life signs? Olivia asked, barely daring to hope. Alan checked his readings. One human life sign, faint but stable. For the first time in days, Olivia smiled. Send a rescue team immediately. As the bridge crew celebrated, High Commander Zexkra approached Olivia. Your officer's bravery has saved many lives today, both human and Acrylian. It seems we make good allies, Olivia replied. The alien's compound eyes gleamed. Perhaps we were meant to be more than just allies, Captain. There is much our species could learn from each other. Olivia watched as the rescue shuttle approached Bennett's escape pod. I think you're right, Commander. This might be the beginning of something important. The day had started with a warship on a diplomatic mission. It was ending with a new understanding between two species who had once been enemies, and the promise of a different kind of future for both. 2 weeks after the battle with the Void Harvesters, the USS Peacekeeper orbited Earth. Captain Olivia Warren stood in the ship's medical bay watching as Lieutenant Kyle Bennett sat up in his bed for the first time since his rescue. How are you feeling? She asked, smiling at her brave officer. Kyle's face was still pale, but his eyes were clear and alert. Better, Captain. The doctors say I should be back on duty in a week. Take all the time you need, Olivia said. You've earned it. Dr. Nicole Harris entered the room, carrying a tablet with Kyle's medical data. The Acrylian healing techniques have worked wonders, she reported. The radiation damage is almost completely reversed. After their victory against the Harvesters, the Acrylians had shared their advanced medical knowledge, which combined biological processes with technology in ways humans had never considered. Any word on the Harvesters? Kyle asked. Olivia nodded. Our long-range sensors show them moving away from human and Acrylian space. They seem to be avoiding our systems now. So we scared them off, Kyle said with a weak smile. For now, Olivia cautioned. But at least we know they can be fought. She left the medical bay and made her way to the ship's conference room, where a historic meeting was about to take place. Representatives from the United Earth government waited alongside a delegation of Acrylians led by High Commander Zexkra. Admiral William Hayes greeted Olivia as she entered. Captain Warren, just in time. We're about to begin the signing ceremony. On the conference table lay a document that would change the future of both species, the Earth-Acrylian Alliance Treaty. After centuries of mistrust and recent border disputes, the two civilizations were formally becoming allies. None of this would have been possible without your actions, Captain, Admiral Hayes said quietly. You turned a potential war into the greatest diplomatic success in human history. My crew deserves the credit, Olivia replied modestly. And the Acrylians. They could have left us to face the Harvesters alone. Zexkra approached them, his exoskeleton gleaming in the ship's lights. Captain Warren speaks with humility, but we know the truth. Without her leadership and the bravery of her crew, many more lives would have been lost. The Earth officials and Acrylian representatives took their seats around the table. Admiral Hayes spoke first, his voice solemn. 2 weeks ago, our species stood at the brink of conflict. Today, we forge an alliance that will strengthen both our peoples. The Void Harvesters may return one day, but when they do, they will find us united and prepared. Zexakra's mandibles clicked in agreement. For 12,000 years, my ancestors fought the Harvesters alone. Now we have discovered that together, we are stronger than apart. One by one, the officials signed the treaty. When it was Olivia's turn, she paused, thinking about how this moment had come about. A warship sent on a diplomatic mission had somehow succeeded beyond anyone's expectations. After the ceremony, Engineer Joseph Franklin approached Olivia with exciting news. Captain, the Acrylian engineers and I have been developing a new defense system based on the quantum trap. If the harvesters ever return, we'll be ready. Good work, Joseph, Olivia said. Later that evening, Olivia stood in her favorite spot on the ship, looking out at the stars through a large window. Earth was beautiful below them, a blue jewel in the darkness of space. Commander George Baker joined her. Quite a view, he commented. Yes, Olivia agreed. And now we know there's more out there than we ever imagined, both good and bad. The boss crew is talking about you, George said with a smile. They're saying you accomplished the impossible, making peace with a warship. Olivia laughed softly. Sometimes the best tools for peace are the ones designed for war. The Peacekeeper lived, up to its name after all. The next day, Olivia was summoned to Earth for a special ceremony at United Earth headquarters. The Grand Hall was filled with people, human officials, Acrylian delegates, and the crew of the USS Peacekeeper. Lieutenant Kyle Bennett was there, too in a wheelchair but insistent on attending. The Secretary General of Earth spoke to the assembled crowd. Today we honor those who turned potential conflict into lasting peace. Captain Olivia Warren, step forward. Olivia approached the podium feeling slightly uncomfortable with all the attention. For exceptional service, diplomatic innovation, and creating a historic alliance, I present you with the Earth Star, our highest honor, the Secretary General announced, placing a medal around her neck. Olivia accepted the medal graciously but then turned to face the crowd. This honor belongs to my entire crew and to our Acrylian allies. True diplomacy is not the work of one person, but of many people choosing to see past their differences. She glanced at Zexkra, who stood with his delegation. We sent a warship to handle diplomacy because sometimes showing strength is necessary. But we succeeded because we chose to use that strength to protect rather than destroy, to build rather than break. After the ceremony, as people mingled and celebrated, Science Officer Alan Patterson approached Olivia with a datapad. Captain, you should see this. Our deep space probes have detected something interesting. Olivia looked at the readings. Another spacefaring species? Alan nodded excitedly. Yes, and they appear to be under attack by something similar to the harvesters. They're calling for help. How far? Olivia asked. 6 months at maximum speed, Alan replied. Olivia found herself smiling. Inform Admiral Hayes. I think the Peacekeeper needs to go on another diplomatic mission. High Commander Zexkra joined them, having overheard. The Acrylian fleet will join you, Captain Warren. Perhaps this new species would also benefit from an alliance. As Olivia looked around at her crew and their new allies, she felt a sense of purpose stronger than ever before. Earth had sent a warship to handle diplomacy, and in doing so had discovered a greater truth, that sometimes the path to lasting peace required the courage to face dangers together. The USS Peacekeeper would soon embark on a new mission, not just as a warship, but as a symbol of a new kind of diplomacy, one that protected the vulnerable, faced threats with courage, and built bridges between different worlds. And Captain Olivia Warren would be at the helm, ready for whatever challenges the vast universe had in store.